Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, let's start with joining me in welcoming each of us here in our Zoom sanctuary. And we'll use our appreciation hands for each other as I welcome each person into the room. Let me start with Dr. Maya. Dr. Maya, thank you for being here today. Welcome. Let's show our appreciation. Thank you. And Marjorie, good to see you. You're looking bright. I love that purple scarf.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. And with a reflection back on last week when we were trying to shift our attention to notice the shapes around us, the space around each of us. I'm noticing the contrast with your beautiful whites and grays in the background. So thank you, Marjorie, for being here. And Wilma, welcome. Good morning. It looks like you are still in the sunny home country. Yes. Look at that big smile. Thank you for being here. We welcome you. And Elise, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. See your smiling face this morning. And William, we can't see you, but we see your beautiful, vast space of your Zoom room. Thank you for being here with us. We send our appreciation, rubbing our hands together. And good morning, Sandra. Good morning. You look well today. Wonderful to see you. And Debbie, thank you for being here. And I'm noticing the beautiful crocheted blanket behind you. And earlier, I think I saw your little doggy. So good morning. And there's Claire. Good morning, Claire. Let's see your glowing hands today in the beautiful light. Look at that, beaming out that good energy. Oh, and here we have Rosemary's in the house. Let's wait till she comes on. Hello, Rosemary. We welcome you. Thank you for being here today. Welcome, welcome. We share our appreciation by rubbing our hands together for you. Thank you, everybody. Well, today's the third in our series leading up to next week's spring. What are we? Equinox. Blah. Spring equinox celebration is going to be next Sunday. And you'll be hearing from me this week if you're interested in offering a poem or a reading or being part of reading a story. Or if you have any music suggestions, this next week will be our congregational celebration for that emergence of spring that we've been building up to these last 2 weeks. And this today, our third week, we're really focusing on our own blooming, like the early snowdrops, which in my experience up there in Montreal is among the first flowers to bloom. Anybody see any snowdrops coming up yet? Not quite yet. No, no. Today we have a big storm. Right as I came on with you, we got the tornado watch and the thunderstorm warning right before that. So I hope the electricity stays on. We will just say that it is so, right? It is so. It's staying on here. So, in the spirit of today's affirmation that Wilma shared, in the quietness, we are refreshed and renewed. I invite you to feel your feet on the floor. This is the time of planting seeds, March and April, maybe May for where you guys are. But if people are starting indoors, this is the time when I would usually start things indoors in Michigan. So let's pretend we are a seed and feel your feet on the earth. Remind yourself that underneath your floor is the earth and feel yourself. And then using your power of imagination, planting a seed down deep in the earth. Maybe not too deep because you got to be able to travel up to get there. But imagine that you are a seed and you contain everything you need to bloom and grow. You already are it. It's already in you. You know, the acorn has everything it needs to actually grow into a tree with the help of soil and air and water. Everything it needs, all the instructions, all its gifts, all of its beauty, all of its defenses, its defense mechanisms, its way of interacting with the environment around it. It has everything it needs, absolutely. And so do we. And so does the seed that you're planting below your feet in the soil. And I want to start today by sharing a video of a seed emerging. So let me share my screen here. Let me stop recording or pause it, right? There we go. Thank you very much. You can remind me about that later at the end when I have another video, please. Thank you. Ah, all right. Join me in raising your hands up, like, just to embody and put in our physical self, following the Radiant Sutras. Just feel that force, that life force from the stillness into the movement according to divine timing. Yes, I see blossoming, maybe swaying a little bit. Remember when it gets to the certain, actually, the whole time those leaves are coming up, they're just dancing. They're just moving on their own, pointing in different directions, turning left, turning right, always moving forward and up. Pretend you have leaves, maybe that are stretching out and growing wider. Spread your fingers out as you share and hug the world with your hands and lift them up in praise. To me, this feels like praise, right? We praise life. Let yourself be danced by the rhythms of life and sway with the flow. Thank you for joining me in that. And now, one more exercise to kind of bring a focus onto this feeling of emergence, this feeling of growth. I'd like you to take a hand, one or the other, your choice, and close your fist and maybe squeeze it tight. And imagine that maybe this is a seed. It could be your fist could be a seed, holding everything it needs to grow, but staying closed tightly from perhaps if the seed was human, it might be feeling fear of some sort or uncertainty or timidity, hesitation, emotions that stop the growth. It could also just be quietly resting until the time is right, right? It doesn't have to be a negative emotion that's contracting. But now, very slowly and with awareness, start to relax your hand, not too fast, go nice and slow like that seedling. Maybe just relax the feeling of closedness and just have a little gap in your hand and just feel the circulation of your life force starting to flow a little bit better. And then very slowly, like you're the frond of a fern or a snowdrop just emerging its head from the soil, maybe still tucked in the soil and just starting to expand. Bring ever so slowly in micro movements, slowly, 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 and with breath and attention. Open your hand and just notice how this feels different than that contraction as you open. Imagine your hand as it's opening, saying yes to life, whether it's something big or something small. This is you saying yes, your seed opening and saying yes to life, whatever is ready to emerge in your life. And when your hand is all the way open, maybe move it a little bit. And if you go like this, kind of fast, like open, 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 you can start to feel like a lot of chi, life force energy building up in your hand. This is that flow of life that's coming from your expansion. So let's just contrast a minute. Just close it up again real tight, like you're really holding on tight. And this time, just a little bit faster. Just let go and release. Let go and release. And just notice the sensation. Ah, feel better? Feel freer. That was pretty simple, right? Pretty simple, you know? Ooh. Let me tell you a little story, and then I'll tell you about my own story. So this is a made-up story, but I think it gets part of the point across of what we just did with our hands. Long ago, Raven and Owl were friends, but they had no color. They were just plain and white. One day, Raven wanted to change. So he took black paint and he covered himself, listening and laughing at his boldness. He invited Owl, his friend, to do the same. But Owl hesitated. She was afraid. She was afraid to step into something new, and she hesitated for just a moment. And while she did, Raven was playful and splashed her with some of the black paint, the dark colored paint. Not all black, but lots of browns. He just playfully splashed her a little bit, but he didn't touch her face. Her face was still white. Owl got startled and she flew away forever. And she was ever forever marked by her moment of hesitation, her moment of indecision, instead of going along and playing. Now hesitating and discerning an action is not a bad thing at all. But this story is about the hesitating before playing and being in a safe place with friends and going with the flow in a safe way, right? That's what this story is. So, and also notice that even though the owl hesitated, the change happened anyway. She still got playfully splashed by her friend Raven with the black paint and the dark colored paint. But she just wasn't quite ready. She just wasn't quite ready. It's like, no, I'm not quite ready. There's something in me that's saying not yet. And that's up to us and our discernment and also our faith to figure out for ourselves when is it time to unfurl and be in action. So today, my friends, was my moving day into my new house. It's all done and I'm ready to move in. We had a plan before the tornado warning and the thunderstorm warning to, get the moving truck and move some stuff in there. And I'd be sleeping in there tonight. And maybe I still will. I don't usually let rain stop me. But it's not just rain, it's windy and tornado watches. And I'm like, it's all supposed to end sometime around 6 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. But an interesting thing started happening to me yesterday. My left hand, my wrist actually, right here, it felt like I had sprained it somehow, right? I didn't fall. I didn't bang it. I couldn't recall anything that I had done to it at all. It just started hurting. Like I felt like I should have a sling and I should be keeping it up here, and it swelled up. It's still sort of puffy. And I was like, what in the world is this? So just when I'm thinking, wow, what did I do and what can I do about it? I was icing it. I put something cold on there. My friend who's a body worker healer came in and she did a little, pressure point thing on my shoulder and my arm, and I got some relief. But it still was like aching. It was so throbbing. I had to take aspirin, which I hardly ever do. And then another friend came who lives in the village. She came with her three white dogs making the rounds on a Saturday. I was in the shop yesterday all day, my weaving practice shop. And she's a different kind of a healer, and she's more of an intuitive, a medical intuitive. And she held my hand and she said, Chris, your hand and your wrist is in your arm is holding something. What is it? What is it holding on to for you? And she intuited, and I agreed. Like, when you hear somebody speak the truth for me, I just start crying a little bit, not bawling or anything, but just a little bit. And I'm like, I know I'm hearing the truth. And like I see Rev Rosemary's on, and she's often has this effect on me. She just notices something and she says something, and I'm like, oh man, that's true. Wow. Thank you for unlocking my awareness. So my friend did that same thing for me, unlocked my awareness. And then I feel like Goldie, I'm just like a Goldilocks tale. A few hours later, another friend shows up. His specialty is Peruvian energy healing. So he does his thing with his mesa and, kind of healing without touching kind of a thing. And he's like trying to unblock the energy that was getting stuck right about here. That gave me some relief as I could tune into what it was. And in my mind's eye, I had a whole experience with my younger self and my future self and creating, like removing something here and then filling it up, with all good stuff and love. But as of last night, I was like, well, how am I supposed to move? I really can't even use my wrist. It still is feeling better and the circulation is better. It's not getting any worse. It's not throbbing, but and still, if I picked up something like my laptop, which is not that heavy, it hurts. So what in the world? Anyway, I'm using this as an example of I had a great dream that was very insightful. I asked for a dream before I went to bed. And you know what this is about? The meaning I've made out of this for myself, for my own learning purposes, and I'll share it with you, is that even though I have spent, since you guys have known me, right, which I think is over 2 years, right? I retired, yeah, over 2 years. I've transformed my life with a plan, informed by spirit and living my purpose, right? I retired. I've been living with the land. I've been building this house. It's just now complete. It's a really big deal. But I've had this problem releasing my stuff, right? Like I'm talking dramatically really releasing my stuff. And I recognize for myself that my stuff represents my roles, my motherhood, my wifehood, my childhood, my workhood, right? My friendhood, all these different experiences that I've had in these different roles are all tied up in my stuff, from my clothes to my books to my acres of photos before there were digital photos. I took a lot of printed photographs. I have more than I could possibly do anything with. Little tchotchkes that remind me of places that I've been. I mean, you can imagine. I'm sure you've done this kind of thing for yourself. So it started with my awareness that I really am having a hard time clearing what remains. And it's been hard. And then this talked to me to emphasize it even more. So even though I'm consciously emerging a new platform for myself. Like this is a big step forward. There's something in me that says, no, no, I'm not ready. Or, oh no, I'm kind of comfortable right as I am. I'm comfortable, right? How many of you are comfortable right now in most of your life where you are? You're pretty comfortable, pretty good. Just show of hands. I can't be the only one that's been pretty comfortable. Doesn't mean life doesn't happen. But I'm so comfortable actually that I'm resisting opening to this new garden that I've been designing and planting for myself. It's so counterintuitive, right? Part of me is like, yes, I can't wait to get in there. And the other part of me is like, I don't know, not quite ready. So I have opened to divine timing and divine guidance. And the time is the time. I don't have to move today. I don't even have to move tomorrow. I can move whenever I want. And I'm going to take time and I'm going to listen more deeply to what's going on inside me emotionally so that I'm hearing and processing. I'm not glossing over. I'm not trying not to push. I don't need to keep on schedule, but I want to be driven by that seed-like opening life force that we've been talking about these last 2 weeks, that in my own time, with the help of the world and the spring equinox and the full moon that we just had and the lunar eclipse that we just had and the solar eclipse that's coming at the end of this month and the Easter coming, right? All this rebirth energy. I'm going to ride that wave of rebirth energy more in a more relaxed state, in a more surrendered state. I gotta say, I'm totally surprised by this because I thought I was fine, that I had my plan. Boof, 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 boof. And nope, there's more to do, more to learn. And I think the key for me, and perhaps for you, if this resonates with you, it's good to be uncomfortable once in a while. I can't imagine that the seed that we just watched felt really good about all that growth. Can you imagine being the seed and having to split apart? Or, using the butterfly metaphor, can you imagine what it's like to be a caterpillar and then you're in the chrysalis and you totally dissolve? You completely dissolve. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta be not comfortable whatsoever. But look at the beauty that emerges. And that's us. That's each of us. That's each of our goodness, our light, our creativity, our purpose, however, wherever you are in your phase of life that you feel is ready to emerge. Maybe it's just something small. Maybe you want to change your hair, right? Maybe you want to get a new wardrobe. Maybe you want to go on a trip. Maybe you just want to go to a new coffee shop you haven't been to before. But the getting over the resistance of whatever it is that you're noticing is give it time. Let's just give it time. It's just funny. Even something you would have looked at me yesterday and said, "Wow, how did you sprain your wrist?" It's just my body's reaction to what is coming and how I'm dealing with it. And anyway, that's my story. And I prefer to be the raven, but sometimes I'm the owl. Yeah, I see some heads nodding. Yeah, we've all been there. Maybe you're there right now. We'll see. So I would like to do from the Radiant Sutras, I'd like to do a practice that when I did it, it's very brief. When I did it, I felt differently about my emergence. And maybe this will help you too. It's a little bit different than what we did last week. This one's called the Stira practice. Now, Stira is a Sanskrit word stands for the concept of firm and hard and solid, immovable, motionless, still and calm, not wavering or tottering, but steady, unfluctuating, taking courage, kept secret. These are all of these concepts are from this one word: faithful and trustworthy, settled, undoubted, sure, and certain. So here's the practice. Sit back in your chair and relax a little bit and just take in these words and let's do them together. Take courage. Take heart that you are permeated with infinite space everywhere, yet you still exist. And this is what one of my shamanic teachers calls our vast self. Get interested in the sense of spaciousness and freedom permeating your spine. You might want to move to actually feel that. Twist your body a little bit, go like this, move your shoulders up and down, and just feel some flexibility permeating your spine and the area between your legs and your heart. As you enter this feeling, of spaciousness inside your own body, find your way into steadiness. This meditation invites you to firmly sit down on nothing. Firmly sit down on nothing. You are emptiness sitting, standing, or lying down on emptiness. You are emptiness sitting. The back that you feel right now, you might feel it against your chair. That back, your spine is space. The area where you're sitting, where you can feel your body on your seat, is flooded with space. See if you can conjure that up in your imagination. Your heart pulsates in spaciousness. Let's feel that a little bit. Our back, where we're sitting, wherever our body touches the seat, and even our heart and our blood circulating in our body, that's all space. when science tells us we are mostly space in between all those little atoms. Cultivate this feeling steadily and firmly. And let's just take a minute of silence just to cultivate this sensation, this feeling of spaciousness throughout our body. Let's continue. Develop these experiences within yourself, then meditate on them simultaneously as you develop your ability to perceive your heart and your spine as space and to be with them as space. Allow the coexistence of both empty space and the appearance of matter, both empty space and the appearance of matter. You don't need to deny the solid nature of your spine. You're just contemplating that everything, everything is made out of emptiness. And perhaps a beautiful, clear feeling arises within you as a result. Contemplate that everything is made out of emptiness, vast space, our vast self, and a beautiful, clear feeling arises as a result. So that's called the Stira practice from the Radiant Sutras. And I hope you might try that on in the coming week as we lead up to our celebration of the spring equinox, when the day we can just feel the emergence of spring finally, even if it's still slumbering and it still might be a little quiet. We'll soon be able to feel that emergence going up in our living, in our environment, and in our own bodies. The invitation for this week that I would like to offer you is to notice one small moment in the coming week when you say, say yes to something new, something that might even make you uncomfortable. Something new. It could be a conversation. It could be going into a new place, stepping into a new environment. You'll know what it is. You'll know. You'll know. Just notice. Just notice. And before I play the closing song, I'm going to just offer a blessing to everyone. May we trust the timing of our own unique unfolding. May we rise as we are, just as we are. We already contain everything, just like the seed. And may we bloom and blossom. And just like the daily word today, we'll tack that on to our blessing. In quietness, like the seed in the soil, we are refreshed and renewed. And now to kind of supercharge our blossoming, I want to play one of my favorite songs. This is a video, if you guys have seen, oh gosh, what's it called? It's a movie. It has the name on the video. But when they were rehearsing for the movie, the recording of this song, I think, is even better than in the movie. And this is the version that I want to share with you. And I think you'll feel, invigorated, invigorated. Dr. Maya, can you please stop the recording while I share this video? Here we come. Woo! I hope that gave you a little boost for whatever it is you are bringing forth into your life in this springtime and blooming for yourself in your own good time. Thank you for today. I look forward to next week. You'll be hearing from me by text or email so you can offer something to our group celebration. I cannot wait. I wish you all well, and by the time I see you next week, I will be in my new house. I turn it back to you, Dr. Maya. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.